This portion of the news brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Police were involved in yet another shooting with a most wanted suspect this morning, this time in southwestern New Providence. Police issued an all-points bulletin for the suspect on Saturday, and authorities confirmed to us that he died late this afternoon. LaDawn Davis rushed to the scene as police mounted their initial investigation.
Police say armed robbery suspect and most wanted man, 31-year-old Ronnie Jean, robbed two men of a Honda and Cherokee Jeep and a woman of her cell phone on Carmichael Road. Assistant Commissioner of Police Stephen Dean says when police were notified of the armed robbery spree, they sprung into action, and that's when Jean was shot by police near the Spikenard Graveyard on Cowpen Road.
As a result, the police officers on patrol spotted the vehicle in the Spikenard Road area. A chase ensued. The suspect continued to accelerate at a high rate of speed. The vehicle crashed into the gate at the Spikenard Graveyard. The suspect alighted the vehicle, came out of the vehicle, and began to fire on police. Began to run. Police returned fire. The suspect was struck several times. Police was able to detain him.
Assistant Commissioner of Police Stephen Dean says what disturbs him even further is that a police officer was robbed of portions of his uniform when the suspect stole his vehicle sometime last week.
We had an armed robbery about a week ago where an officer was robbed. His uniforms were taken, and we know that his stripes, accoutrement. As a matter of fact, we were able to find one of the stripes on the suspect this morning, and a shirt.
Meanwhile, the Cherokee Jeep belonging to one of Jean's victims was found just a stone's throw away from the Mount Tabor Gardens Estates. Jean later died in hospital. LaDawn Davis, ZNS Network News.
The community has expressed much concern about the increase in police-involved shootings here in New Providence. National Security Minister, the Honorable Dr. Bernard Nottage, told our news team this week that if an officer's life is threatened, criminals and the public should expect them to use their weapons, and it should come as no surprise. The minister also revealed that government still intends to implement several new initiatives that he hopes to share with the country later this week. Meanwhile, Police Commissioner Stephen Dean told our news team that the public need not be alarmed as officers are well trained in executing their duties.
Police will have to continue to do their job. There will always be questions and concerns as to how we do it. At the end of the day, there are recourse to take. There's a coroner's court if a suspect has died to determine whether the police are right and wrong. But I can tell you we have a disciplined group of officers who are well trained and who know their job, who are professional in every true sense. So we want to say, members of the public, we in this war, gang, we're here to fight crime. You have been asking to arrest these dangerous people. We cannot begin to be sympathetic when these dangerous people are in custody.
That was Stephen Dean, Assistant Commissioner of Police. Moving on, social activist Candy Gibson confirmed reports today that she was in fact detained by police for questioning for 5 days in connection to conspiracy to commit the murder of Jamal Hyler last week. And today, the founder of Families of All Murdered Victims attempted to clear her name by hosting a press conference at the office of her attorney, Christina Galanis & Co. Gibson, who refused to comment on whether or not she was in a relationship with the man known to police, maintained her innocence.
I had two brothers murdered in the space of 8 months. I said, if I get my name caught up then I get my name caught up now. In 2015 officer, I said, no man, that ain't me, that ain't me. I said, by the way, now the question is like, what's the question? I said, who murdered am I and lock up for? He said, Jamal Hyler. And I was like, Jamal Hyler? I said, no man. I said, officer. I said, no. I said, I just been on TV, on the news talking about this murder and saying how you could get killed by the breakfast stand. You can't even buy breakfast. Whatever. I said, officer, no, my that ain't me. I said, that ain't me, officer. I say, come on, officer. I said, that is not my. You could even follow my Facebook page. You will see. I don't even have drama on my page. So just drama my life.
Gibson was not charged for the offense and was released this past Saturday. She lamented that the Royal Bahamas Police Force must do a little bit more to bridge the gap between them, those held in custody, and the wider community.
They have a commercial coming on TV saying Stronger Bahamas. Stronger Bahamas doesn't just start with that commercial. Stronger Bahamas is communication. We have to communicate, and I feel like the Royal Bahamas Police Force now have to bridge the gap more than ever with the community, because I was often told that persons while in custody, being held for certain stuff, being held for stuff they have never done. When they leave that place, they end up straight sandalins. When they leave that place, they don't have a job they could go back to, and which I think is wrong, because if you're going to hold someone and have to turn to release them for something that they haven't done, then if they're working, be kind enough to write a letter to that person place of employment. Because guess what? We talk about crime is so high. But when we put a man out there or a woman out there for them not to be able to support their family, where do we leave them?
As preparations are being made for the upcoming school year, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Immigration, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, says students without the proper documentation to live in the country will not be allowed to enter the classroom if they fail to have those documents in place before the 90-day deadline. The minister said a public service announcement will be made to inform parents of the necessary requirements.
It's likely to be in line with what the ministry has already said, which is that you must have the immigration permission to be in the Bahamas, to be in the schools, but if you don't have the paperwork, they will give you 90 days to get the paperwork straight. So that announcement is being worked on now, and subject to the Minister of Education's views, it should be out shortly because school is opening shortly.
The policy would largely impact children of Haitian parentage. Haitian officials had expressed earlier this year challenges in obtaining those documents, and Minister Mitchell says those challenges remain. However, as some international conventions require that all children in the country have access to education, Minister Mitchell says that no laws regarding this policy will be broken.
There's no violation of the law. I mean, I think the Ministry of Education was quite careful with that, so there's no violation of the law. I mean, they have their, and it's good for people to monitor these things and make sure that there's no abuse, but I'm satisfied there's no violation of the law. And if people see that there's any abuse, then certainly let us know. I spoke to the outgoing ambassador. He said that Washington, which is where their passports are produced, is having a challenge trying to keep up, but that, essentially they can get through. That's why, the 90 days or so is being allowed to deal with any issues.
The Bahamas Agricultural and Industrial Corporation, or BAIC, and the Bahamas Public Services Union signed a 5-year industrial agreement valued at over $250,000 on Wednesday. Negotiations had been in the works for 2 years on the new agreement, retroactive to 2013. Key components of the contract for the 189 workers are provisions for staff training, increments related to salary scale, and employees will also receive a lump sum equivalent to 1 year's increment. BPSU President John Pinter says while the contract does not contain everything the union wanted, he is still pleased.
We had a very good working experience. Indeed, the negotiations, we shared both sides, and they got most of what they wanted, and we got most of what we wanted. There's still one or two things that we wish we could iron out a little better, but certainly at this time, we are pleased that we've reached this far. And this is another milestone in the history of the Bahamas Public Services Union, and by extension the BAIC staffers as they will now enjoy a new industrial agreement.
BAIC Executive Chairman Dion Smith says with the new industrial agreement in place, the corporation is looking to working more closely with the BPSU and strengthening cordial ties.
Highlights of our new progressive 5-year agreement include stronger employee benefits, great opportunities for career development and advancement, great opportunities for training and skill building. All of these, we hope, paving the way for the future enhancement of working conditions at the Bahamas Agricultural and Industrial Corporation.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.